Hey, it's Todd Milewski from the State Journal here at the Kohl Center after a 2-2 tie between Wisconsin and Ohio State. Ohio State gets the shootout victory for the extra point. 2-1 in 4 rounds, that one went. And I think that the top line out of the series for the Badgers is that they had the lead in the third period in both games and only got one of a possible 6 points out of it. Not a winning formula there. I don't think that's not a surprise to anyone. It did, I think, for the Badgers today. There was a really cool moment. Jesper Peltonen has been with the team for 4 years. He's played 71 games. He only played 20 in his first 2 seasons as he was seventh and eighth defenseman. He got his chance to play the whole season last year as one of the top 6 defensemen. He's been in there just every night. I think pretty much this season. He has been a hard worker who doesn't get rewarded a lot, doesn't get a lot of attention, has never scored a goal until tonight in the third period with 5:34 left. He put the Badgers up 2-1 with a shot from the right point that hit at least one Ohio State player. Not really sure if it then also hit off of Tarek Baker or maybe the goalie, Yakudovic, before it went in. But a pretty cool moment for Peltonen and the Badgers. I mean, if you saw the bench after that goal, or saw the reaction of his teammates jumping into his arms and really giving him a pretty good reception on his way back to the bench in the line after the goal, I mean, you could tell how much that meant for everyone, not just him. He is one of those workers that doesn't get, like I mentioned, doesn't get a lot of headlines or anything, but he made a big play tonight. It looked like he had a couple chances. He was up in the play a few times, and he scored one from the point with some help. But that part of it will probably be forgotten in the coming years. It'll be a nice wrister from the point. But that being said, good teams, like I said, I think I said yesterday, close games out that they lead in the third period. And yet again, the Badgers couldn't do that. 40 seconds after that Peltonen goal, Georgi Merkulov scored again, second in 2 days for Ohio State to tie it up. A sloppy play in the D zone. Tyler Yamamoto with a bad pass across. Josh S. had his clearing pass turned into a turnover, picked off by Ohio State. Cam Thiesing passed it to Merkulov for a one-timer from the slot, and it was 2-2 just like that. The good vibes from that Peltonen goal didn't last very long at all, and the Badgers were in a dogfight again. You knew it was going to be Big Ten games this year, man. If you're in a one-goal game in the third period, it's going to be physical. It's going to be a grind, and it certainly was that way tonight. Nothing in the rest of the third period. Badgers had a few chances in overtime, had a power play at the end for the last 27 seconds. Got a couple of shots. Of course, Kuhlman's had one blocked. I think I had this right. I think it was Brock Caulfield from low on the left side had one saved, a tough angle. And then Kuhlman's again from the top had one blocked and go out of play. And I think that was pretty much it for the chances there in overtime. And then in the shootout, Caulfield scored. Jake Wise scored both in the first round, and 5 straight saves for Eric Cooley scored in the fourth round for Ohio State to win at 2-1. This week is one it's a little difficult to sum up. The Badgers were missing 16 players in quarantine for 4 days. 4 days of practice. Got most of them back. Daniel Lotch didn't play again today. And yet they had to get, back into the speed of things quickly. Those players that were out didn't practice for 4 days. That's obviously going to be a challenge. All in all, I mean, they handled it about as well as I thought they probably could have. They were right there in a series against a team that's frankly better than them, and yet they come out of it with only 1 point, and I think that it's a bottom line game, right? And 1 point from 2 games where you lead in the third period is not going to cut it, and that takes the shine off of the feel-good story of Jesper Peltonen getting his first goal tonight. A couple of comments here and questions. Tanner says, is the defense just falling apart, or is it Mo, or both? I think there were some that played in the third period. That was one that I think, those are 2 fifth-year defensemen out on the ice after a go-ahead goal for a reason. You need to protect there, and it just didn't happen. That's one that I think was a bad point for the Badgers to give that one up. Obviously, you don't want to give up one after you take a lead in the third period ever, but that's a rough one to give up. I think that hard to fault Mo on that one. That second one on Quinn Preston's goal in the second period that made it 1-1. That was a quick play out of behind the net that he didn't get much help on again. Preston got off the wall into the front of the net before any of the Badgers players could tie him up, and was able to finish off a play. Yesterday, Mo gave up 4. It's hard to assign blame to him on a lot of this weekend. He made 37 saves tonight. I thought he played pretty well all in all. Last night, there was 1 or 2 he probably could have done a little bit better on. But there's, that group of 5 in front of him has been really kind of up and down this whole season. I think that was a concern coming in, even though there was a veteran group of defenders, I should say. That group of forwards had so many new faces in there to put things together with. There's been some struggles there, obviously. I don't know if that's going to answer the question there, but I don't think there's necessarily anything new that we saw out of this weekend in the D zone from the Badgers. Craig says we'll take Mo back at Minnesota. Wow, what a development here on a Sunday afternoon, evening. If you haven't seen, the Carolina Hurricanes signed Jack LaFontaine away from Minnesota here in the middle of the season. The Hurricanes need goalies at the big club, and that is a big move to make. You have to imagine that the ramifications of that are not limited to today, or just one team maybe. I mean, Minnesota needs another body in goal, at least for practice purposes. I would think Justin Close is the guy they have to go with now. The backstory for those of you that don't know, Jack LaFontaine returned for his 5th year to the Gophers this season after winning the Mike Richter Award as the top goalie in Division I men's college hockey last season. Jared Moe was his backup last season with the Gophers, the last 2 seasons really. He saw that he wasn't going to get much of a chance ahead of Jack LaFontaine this season at Minnesota. He entered the transfer portal, came here to Wisconsin. It's weird how things end up now. That the Gophers are taking. I was going to say taking a loss. It's not a loss. It's a bad situation for college hockey. I think I'll put it that way. But you have to remember that college hockey teams have done this to junior teams too, without as much fanfare probably, taking players on late notice or midway through a season sometimes. Not a great situation for anyone, I don't think. I worry about the precedent it sets, whether we see this more in coming seasons. I saw the release the Gophers put out in the wake of this news today. Terse comes to mind. Terse 2-paragraph release. Senior goaltender Jack LaFontaine has signed a professional contract with the Carolina Hurricanes, foregoing the remainder of his college eligibility. Statement from Bob Motzko. We would like to thank Jack for his contributions to the Gophers program and wish him well as he begins his professional career. End of statement. A shocker, I think I would say. That came down as this game was getting late in the third period and into overtime, so I didn't have a chance to react to it right away. Interesting to see what comes out of this, I guess. Back to the Badgers briefly. Tanner asked about what the schedule this week looks like for the Badgers. They have to take a day off. I would imagine that is probably Monday. Don't know for sure, but I haven't heard the schedule yet. But they'll take a day off at some point and get back into it. Games Friday and Saturday here against Michigan State on the docket next. Tanner also asked how I'm feeling. I feel pretty good, actually. Thanks for asking. I was down in COVID protocol earlier in the week, and felt it for a couple days, but not too terrible, which I'm thankful for, and I credit the vaccine and the booster for helping me be in as good of a situation as I can during that and getting through it okay. And as of now, the family has still tested negative, so everything is good. Hoping we get through this and everything is cleared up. Was able to come out of quarantine earlier in the week and have to wear my mask around everyone else here. Luckily, there's no one around me right now, so I can be on video. But thank you. I appreciate you asking. I think that's going to wrap it up here from the Kohl Center. We'll be back after next Friday night's game against Michigan State. That's a 7 o'clock start. Saturday is an 8 o'clock start, both on Valley Sports Wisconsin. I believe possibly a plus channel in there, but I'm pretty sure it's both on the regular channel. So thanks for joining me. Make sure you check out the story on madison.com and in Monday morning's State Journal. We'll have more coming through this week. And until then, have a good night. Take care, everyone.